Thoughts?
I think for me, it's one of them where I think the red card killed it.
Yeah.
Dead. It was done.
Will Boyle.
At that point, yeah. I think it was pretty much, it killed the game as any sort of spectacle. For anyone neutral, I don't know how many neutrals are watching Newport versus Wrexham, but if there was any, I think it sort of killed it as a game a little bit. Having said that, Newport did very well after the red card, I think. I think kudos to you. The way that you...
Does that hurt you saying that?
A little bit. But I think sort of the way that you controlled the ball, the way that you spread it out, made Wrexham do all the running, which you should do when you're down to 10 men. When the other team are down to 10 men, that's what you should do. You know, stretch the play, make sure they're chasing after it, make sure they're running for the ball. They did that very well. And we just didn't have any answers, really. But it felt like one of them days where even if we would have had 11, I can't really say this because you just don't know.
No.
But even if we had 11, it just felt like one of them days when nothing really went for us, because there was a lot of players on there who were struggling to pick a pass. Elliot Lee was struggling to pick a pass. I saw James Jones give the ball away a lot. Now, I know when you're down to 10, you're under a little bit more pressure, and, you know, that pressure can cause the odd pass here and there to go astray. Although, you know, at the end of the day, you sort of feel like even if we had 11, then passes might still have gone astray a little bit. And I just don't think we were there today. I don't think we had...
Do you think it would have been a different game if Fletcher and O'Connor were on the pitch? I personally, in my point of view, in my opinion, I think it would have been a completely different game. And I think you know, like you said, would it have been a completely different game if Boyle hadn't got sent off? If Boyle wasn't on the pitch from the outset, I think it would have been a very different game. Yeah, I'm a bit gutted with Will Boyle at the moment. I think I've seen a lot of comments on social media saying he'll never wear a Wrexham shirt again. I mean, that's probably just a lot of anger with the Wrexham fans because it was a stupid foul.
It depends how you view the red card, I think. Because if you view that as a definite red, then you sort of go, it's stupid, it's silly, what have you done that for? You know, you've lost us the game, and, you know, you're obviously not in the plans very much. You know, I don't want to see him in a Wrexham shirt again. Although, if you're of the other opinion of, I don't think that was a red, then, you know, it's not them people in that bracket who are having that conversation, are they, whether he should play or not again?
So we've had some comments. Peter Langenecker, well, the subs didn't work out today. You can't get it right every week up the town. Drew does whatever. It feels a bit disappointing, but Newport played well. Elliot Lee seems off recently. Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of not noticed it, but commented saying that Elliot Lee is a bit off his game at the moment. I wouldn't necessarily agree. I think he
was a little bit off today, but
yeah,
I think it's very hard when you go down to 10 men. I think it is very difficult for an attacking player to influence the game in the same way that you normally would, you know, especially in the position that he plays. You know, you almost become a defensive team at the point when you go down to 10 men. So for Elliot to then have some sort of influence on the game becomes a little bit more difficult because you're not getting forward as much. You're not getting balls into that area as much. So he can at times seem ineffective. You know, players do give the ball away, but if the time that you're getting the ball is so few and far between, and when you do get it, you give it away or you don't create anything, I think that sort of people start thinking, oh, he's not playing very well.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he was involved enough, and I don't think that was his fault. I think that's just the way it is when you go down to 10 men.
Oops, there was a comment just before, and it said, where was it? Ben Parker said down 5 key players. It was always going to be tough, but it seemed like we weren't at our best.
Is it your first day reading?
I just can't. I can't see it. My eyes are getting old. Can't fault the boys. Boys' heart out there working their butts off. All game though. Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that, Ben. I think we weren't at our best today. But you know, it's a bad day at the office, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of like the reaction that we get. It's like, yes, it's a bad day at the office. We move on to the next game. We're still second in the table.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Newport have now moved up to 13th, I believe.
Who cares when Newport are?
I don't care, but I'm just, you know.
No, I think I haven't double checked, but Crewe were beating Barrow. It's quite handy for us, to be honest. I know it creates a bit of a bigger group in that mix, but it stops Barrow pushing even closer to us. Charles Llewellyn said, "Woof! I need to take a walk. Hats off to Newport." And he said, "I thought Lee did as well as he could." Yeah, I probably agree, Charles, to be honest, because like I said, you know, you're not getting the same service. You're not getting because you're not attacking as much. You're not getting forward as much. So it was difficult for him. And I can understand why people might think that he's not quite on his game because he influences the game so much.
Yeah.
When you're not playing, when you can't play as attacking as you normally do, then yeah, I think
I would have to say, I thought Lee was probably more on his game than I would say Mullen. I mean, don't look at me like that. Obviously, Mullen did play well, but I just think there was no chances. Looking at the just looking at the stats from the game, I think before half time, I think we'd had 1 shot on target.
Did we have any shots on target? I don't remember.
According to hang on, let's just have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look because I don't know what you're doing here. So, shots on target, we had 1 all game. Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't remember that one.
No, I don't
either. What was that one?
I'm not even sure.
No, I'm not sure either. I just want to praise Parky a little bit because, it didn't quite work today. It for obvious reasons why it didn't work. But Parky's always willing to have a go. And I think that's all you can ever really ask from a manager.
Yeah.
You're down to 10 men. Barnett went up front for a little bit. We had 1 man up front. We had Mullen up front. It was always going to struggle. We were never going to get back in the game.
He's only 1 man at the end of the day, isn't he?
Barney went up front for a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I do quite like Barney in a more advanced role. That's fine. But that wasn't going to work long term during the game, I don't think. Ollie came on, so we went to 2 up front. And then Jake came on a little bit later. So you're down to 10 men. You're chasing the game, and he chucks 3. We got 3 strikers on the pitch. I think praise, because it's always a case of, look, we're going to go out. If we're going to go out and we're going to lose, we're going to go out swinging. And I do respect that. Look, nothing worked. Nothing worked today. And that's just the way it is sometimes. I come into this league knowing full well that we were not going to win every game this season. I knew we weren't going to win every game this season. And
I think it'd be silly to think. I mean, it would be amazing if we could win every single game. But it's just not a realistic dream to have. It's just not. Because you're going to get, and because of who we are as well, being this global, beast of a team, you're going to get teams coming in, week out, to do what Newport have done today. And
I think it's our home form that's going to get us promoted this season, though, because there's been quite a few games. If we look back this season, we look at Stockport, and we know the calamity that happened at Stockport. We look back at Walsall more recently, which was pretty poor. We look back to what happened at Harrogate. We look back at what happened at Accrington. And you look at these games, and that's not the Wrexham team that we watch week in, week out when we're playing at the racecourse. So, you'd sort of go our away form as sort of... We've struggled with our away form this season, I would say, hugely.
100%.
And, we can't seem to get a foothold in games the way that we do at home. or unless we are so spoilt in the games that we're watching at home that we sort of expect to dominate games in the same way when we go elsewhere. But it's not happening for us. But I genuinely think if we go the rest of the season and win,
Just with home games. No away games, just home games.
if we win all of our home games, we're going up, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think that's. I don't think I'm being stupid in saying that. I think if we win all of our home games, and plus on top of that, the points that we do pick up away, because we are going to beat teams away from home. We are going to draw with teams away from home. We're not going to lose them all. It's not a case of winning all your home, losing all your away.
Yeah.
I think if you just, very much focus on winning all the games at home, then yeah, I would say we're probably going up. Peter's got in touch, said good practice game for the FA Cup for Newport. 10-man Wrexham is as strong as an 11-man Man United.
Until we lose, obviously.
No, I like that, Peter. It's very funny. Coatar said Walsall and now Newport. Let's hope those two games don't cost us the league or promotion. I don't think so. I think we've just covered that. I think, we are going to lose games. We are going to drop points.
Chas Llewellyn's... sorry, we actually finished.
It's fine. Apparently, my wife has said that I have finished speaking in that sentence.
Chas Llewellyn says, I agree with that. I didn't see that usual Mullen fire. Drew does whatever. This game makes me kind of nervous, especially with the injuries we've picked up. I think we need to sign some more top key defenders. Yeah, I agree. We do. I think now is... it's getting to that point now. I mean, we're on the 20th of January. We've got 11 more days of January to go. So I think, hopefully we'll be getting some signings.
Yeah, sorry. I tried to listen to you and read the comments at the same time. As a man, I am unable to do that.
I'll read the next one.
Okay.
Phil, otherwise AKA Dad, to
Dad.
Ryan.
Hi, Dad.
I know we're down to 10 men, but we just don't look like the same team we watch at home. Very poor. I agree with that, Phil.
Yeah. Charles has said, damn, you're making sense of things, Ryan.
Don't tell him that, Chaz.
Getting Chaz.
Peter's comment again, in this league, everyone will drop points. Third place is enough. It is enough. And but I don't,
Don't want to settle for enough, Peter.
Nah, we
don't want to settle for enough. We want more than enough.
But I think we, like I said before, we're still in second. It's not a massive detriment to us at this moment in time. We're doing well at home.
But having said that, the teams around us didn't really play, did they? We've got Mansfield didn't play and Stockport didn't play. So
we're not
at this moment in time, it's not detrimental to us. But we have now played the game in hand that we had over Stockport, and we have lost that game in hand that we had over Stockport. So
we've still got three more. We've still got 3 games that were postponed. So we've got Crawley, which was
but don't worry about that because Stockport have got games that were postponed as well. So we're on the same number of games now as Stockport. Mansfield have got a game in hand over us.
Yeah.
So let's see how it all sort of plays out, I think. Who else have we got here? Oh, Chaz said it's why I love your channel. Thank you, Chaz.
What about me?
Your channel.
Yeah, but he said that you talk sense, and then he said he loves the channel. So I'm taking that as a compliment to you and me.
You're only here for the Ryan. Yeah, no,
whatever.
Maybe. Blair said, "Are there any rumours of new players?" There's
loads.
Blair, it's just
loads.
It is ridiculous at the moment. I think the key ones to pick out. Probably Macaulay Langstaff, because we've got money, because they think he's going to leave. Obviously, he's going to come to us. There's a lot bigger clubs than ours that have been linked to him.
I don't think he'll come to us anyway.
I don't think so either. We've also been linked with Johnson Clark Harris at Peterborough. That would be a huge one for me. I think he's such a good player. Slight little bit of indiscretion in his past with regards to some comments that he made on Twitter, but they were a number of years ago, and I think he apologised for them. But anyway, Ali Al-Hamadi as well, striker for
You're really
Wimbledon.
gunning for him, aren't you? You're really gunning for him.
I love him, and I think he's amazing. He's currently at the Asian Cup. He's not playing for Wimbledon at the moment. He's playing for Iraq in the Asian Cup. Yeah, he'd be my pick, I think. I do like Johnson Clark-Harris, though, played at a high level, scores lots of goals. I think he'd be a really good fit. But I think Ali Al-Hamadi will probably go to a team in a higher league. But that could be us.
I think it's been rumoured that... no, actually, I'm going to refrain from saying that because I'm not actually 100% sure that I'm right. So
yeah, let's not have another Charlie Savage incident.
So more comments. Drew does whatever. I've only heard rumours of strikers.
Yeah.
Ben Parker, Rovers should be even more worried now. Wrexham coming off a loss is dangerous. I agree, but now that we've had this loss, I kind of don't want to lose focus on the league. This FA Cup now, as much as it's going to be beneficial to us financially and whatever, it just worries me that the minds are going off the league slightly.
We're all right, don't worry.
Well, that's my worry.
Right, I've got 42-year-old eyes, so I've got to come in a bit closer. So JBJB1200, right? Okay. Boyle is one of our very few bad signings by Parky. He hasn't worked out. Never want to see him in a Wrexham shirt again. This was an off game. We'll be fine. I
think I'm with you there with in regards to Boyle, and I'm with you in regards to we've had an off game. I just think it would be interesting to see the behind the scenes of the changing rooms, dressing rooms, whatever you want to call it, after the game today, because
the locker room.
In essence, I think I'm going to just say it. I think Boyle lost us that game today.
I'm not a huge fan of. How do I say it? I'm not a massive fan of scapegoating players, but
I am.
Yeah, I know you are. But I don't really, apart from today and the sending off and things like that, I don't have a huge issue with Will Boyle, to be honest.
I mean, I've not got an issue with him, but he just makes too many mistakes.
I disagree. I don't see that, though. I don't see the mistakes that he makes. Ben Tozer makes plenty of mistakes.
Well, he did.
You know, Max Cleworth makes plenty of mistakes. The defenders are going to make mistakes, and I'm not always a big fan of sort of going scapegoating one player. In this instance, it's probably deserved because it was a silly tackle, and whether it was a red or not, for me, isn't really the important question. The important question is, why did he give the referee a decision to make and the linesman a decision to make? He could have. I don't think he had to follow through in the way that he did. And I think the way that he did it made the ref make a decision.
Yeah.
And I think it could have been completely avoided. As a defender, I don't mind him, big, strong, good on set pieces. I'm not a hater. I think, he could definitely work out in that position. I understand why Tom O'Connor plays there. Yeah. I think he's a little bit more mobile. He's more comfortable on the ball, and I get why we're playing him there. But for an aerial threat and for physicality, you'd be looking more towards someone like Will Boyle. We're obviously missing Aaron at the moment massively.
He was back at training, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But
Jordan Tunnicliffe, he's back at training as well, I think.
Yeah, we've got players. I don't think we need to stress and rush out and buy defenders, is what I'm saying here. I think we've definitely got some strength in depth when it comes to that.
I think it's strikers we need.
I think we need a striker.
A striker, yeah.
I would like to see a slight strengthening of the midfield as well. I think maybe one midfielder, one striker. I'm not, if we're going to ship Boyle out, then maybe another defender. But I don't think we need loads.
Peter's asked, do you think we'll keep Hayden? We've discussed this on our podcast. Actually, it's one of those.
Peter.
Yeah, don't ask that question to Ryan because he loves Hayden. He's loved him from the moment he signed with us. I think it would be a massive loss, but
would it though?
He said sorry, Ryan.
Would it though? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, but
I get the reason you've asked, Peter, because would it be a massive loss? Well,
we
haven't had him for the last 3 months.
Yeah, he's
so
probably
I mean,
been injured more than he's been playing this last couple of seasons, I would have thought.
We've had this conversation more than once, twice, 3 times.
Yeah.
And why? How can you keep a player that you don't know if he's playing 1 week to the next?
Yeah. I mean, he could play an amazing game. Say, for example, he's fit and he plays our next home game. Our next league game is against Salford away. Say he's fit for that. It's a couple of weeks away, potentially. He could play an amazing game and he could be, whatever. He could do what Hayden does. But then he could be injured then, and that for another 6 weeks. It's one of those things. I think as much as Parky likes Hayden, and you can tell that he likes Hayden, I think it's one of those ones where they have to sit down and make the decision: do we want to have somebody who plays well for 1 or 2 games, and then he's injured for another 6 weeks? It's a tough call to make, but I think that is one thing that Parky will need to sit down and think about.
I think what you've got to look at now is you give him, for me, and I might be on my own, but I might say, I would say, give him one more chance. Give him one more chance to stay fit and play. Like JB said, love Hayden, but he needs to stay fit, and I think
he does.
And I think you can't just. I don't think you can. It's not something. He's not a player you can just throw away.
No.
And you just got to go right. Get back in that team. Stay fit. Because if he gets back in that team now, and he plays until the end of the season, all this talk goes away. But then he gets a new contract, and then he's injured for another 6 months. It's sort of like. Blair Vanderberg said one more injury and he's got to go, and I think that's it. I think everyone loves him, and you've just got to give him that one more chance. But I think it has to be one more chance, and if he picks up another long-term injury,
it's not as if his injury
is it?
A short term. He literally gets an injury and he's out for weeks.
Yeah,
back end of last season he was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think it did. I mean, obviously, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't have an effect on us getting promoted, but I think it potentially could have, because when he's on that pitch, he is integral.
Yeah.
He's got the height, he's got the stamina, but it's just the injuries that just don't, that go against him.
I'm gonna, just before we go. I like the way that we've diverted away from the Newport game and not really talked about it very much. I do like that. I'm going to read out the weirdest comment that we've had on this, and I'm not quite sure. Saeed Furatan has said, "Love is not true."
Yes, but he said then...
Whoa, I'm coming on to
sorry.
that. He said, "My wife only stays with me because of money." Thanks for getting in touch.
So do you think Hayden's wife only stays with him because of his money? I can't see him being paid that much.
Charles has just said, "My wife stays with me because I keep her drunk." Right. Anyway, thank you.
Why do I stay with you?
Because you love me. You genuinely love me.
I do genuinely love him, yes.
Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, the podcast will be out on Monday at 6 p.m. Our next live will actually not be for the Blackburn game, because unfortunately Ryan's working that game on the 29th of January, so we won't be together while the game's on. But we are attending the Salford game away on the 3rd of Feb. So we'll be doing our lives from there, and hopefully we'll be chatting to some of the other fans and kind of getting their looks on the team and stuff like that. So we will see you live on the 3rd of Feb at Salford. Yeah.
But otherwise, like Ryan said, our podcast is out on Monday.
Yeah.
So you get to see our lovely faces then.
Yes.
We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Keep watching.
Last few comments. Ben Parker already moving on from Newport. Excellent. Now I can get some sleep. Taylor First Fan says hi. Hello.
Hi, Taylor.
Chaz shrugged this one off, up the town. And Peter Langenecker, just to finish it off, has said, up the town.
Up the town indeed.
Onwards and upwards. Dust ourselves off. Forget about this one. And we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.